Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Taurus June 2022 reading and predictions. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, for those who are coming by for the first time. And if you are, welcome, and for the subscribers, much love and affection to you always, as you know. Now, while I'm drawing these 5 cards for you, which will give us a good insight, let's talk about some of the action that's going on in the heavens above the general astrology. Now, some of you may be seeing this in May. And so what you will have found is that Mercury has stationed direct in Gemini in May, and then Jupiter, which was in Pisces, moves into Aries, the cardinal sign. And then what's also interesting is that Mars ingresses into Aries on the 27th of May. Jupiter went in on the 13th of May. But what's interesting is that Jupiter and Mars then go into conjunction with one another, and this is very, very good. It's very, very great energy that's happening there. So there's talking about abundance, there's talking about gain in that month of Mars, which you probably found. There's also the feeling here of going it alone, going alone on things is what I'm getting from that. As a general thing, one would say that with that sort of activity. Let's have a look at some of these while we're doing it. The 8 of Pentacles. But abundance and gain should be the result of that astrological influence in the time of May. And what's interesting is that throughout that month, Venus is in Aries for most of the month as well. So you've got both Jupiter and Venus, the two benefics, in Aries at this time in May. So really, it's a good time. But for June, what happens is that there was previously a Mercury retrograde. Well, then Mercury then stations direct at the start of the month, on the 3rd, I think it is, and it stations direct in Taurus. I think it's the 3rd of June where that happens. But Mercury is square Saturn, which is in Aquarius at that time. So what you might find is that sometimes Mercury retrogrades, as the astrologers will tell you, can have unusual effects on people and things that are going on. So there might be a bit of, there's the High Priestess, beautiful card. There may well be what I call a retrograde hangover going on because Mercury is squaring Mars. But Mars and Jupiter are still in June in Aries, so I think that what you'll find is that you may have a lot of enthusiasm for things, which could have high risk associated with them. So just be careful that you weigh all your options carefully. But then Mercury then goes direct in and stations in Gemini. And what happens is it becomes sextile with Jupiter, and then later on in the month of June, it becomes sextile with Mars as well. So anything that had been held up because of that retrograde will start to move forward quite easily and with quite a flow to it. There's the 2 of Cups. We'll get into these in a moment. I'm really excited to be doing this for you, Taurus. There's the Emperor, great card for you. I should say that. And here is the 8 of Pentacles. Right. Why don't you now come sit down here next to me? We'll have a good close look at the symbology and the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Now, I should just mention, if you do want to have a private clairvoyant reading with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information in the description. And that's easy to do. Now, let's have a look at this major arcana of the High Priestess first. There's fantastic imagery in this set of cards, and so we'll spend some time going through it, you and I, this is the 3 of Pentacles, actually. I think I called it the 8, but that's just my eyesight, I think. Anyway, let's have a look at this lady here and see what's on this image that might be of interest to her. Well, there's a dark pillar here and a light pillar to start with. The waxing moon above the dark pillar, the first aspects of the moon's continuous cycle on her right, represents the time for planting seeds for you, for forming intentions and ideas. The full moon above her, I think, represents illumination, harvest, the fullness of life, the opened flower, The waning crescent moon to her left represents death moving into rebirth, bringing lessons, awakening, healing from the process of passing through all of the phases of the cycling moon. Now, those two pillars, they symbolize dualities of the physical life, the spiritual life, of the masculine self, of the feminine self, and of the negative and positive energies. The black pillar symbolizes understanding. The white pillar represents wisdom. The high priestess herself represents a sort of central pillar, doesn't she? That of mildness. Now, you'll see this spider's web that seems to be going out from behind her head. That represents the veil between the conscious and the subconscious. It symbolizes creativity and all the possibilities in life, but also it is there to make you aware that you can get trapped in the veil if you pass through it without the proper knowledge and preparedness. Now, the high priestess, she holds, you can see it down here, she holds a star in her hands, symbolizing, I think, her ability to access the Akashic records, which is a fancy term which otherwise is called universal knowledge. There's also a star in her crown, I see. That symbolizes the sixth chakra. The third eye is associated with the high priestess, you know. So you may have great insight into things. Now, her dress is made up of a pattern of crosses, and if you've seen on my playlist my introduction to astrology, I talk about the cross as a separate 6-minute video, and it refers to the descent of spirit into matter and matter into spirit, the balance of male and female energies, and the balance of 4 directions of spirit, emotions, mind, and body. And she also has spirals on her dress, the spiral of life and the universe and its creative forces. Now, her dress flows into the pool of subconsciousness that reflects you back to yourself. Now, in the pool at her feet here, may be difficult to make out because of the blue here, but the blue color and the stars, I think, represent the deep knowledge and creativity that is constant in our universe and will be constant in you during this period. Now, the planet associated with the priestess is the moon, which is intuition, cycles as mysteries, as well as, I say, that third eye, which comes from the 6th chakra. Well, the high priestess holds the key, that is the star, to the Akashic records, universal knowledge. She has the gift of knowing how to channel into the collective memory of the past, the present, and the future that guides you to resolve blocks that disturb your inner peace and balance. Now, this star that she holds contains the universal secrets, answers, and mysteries that are available to you through prayer, meditation, maybe that come to you in dreams, or possibly by your communion with nature and the higher self. Her message to you is to trust your inner self and intuition. The high priestess brings you harmony and balance to situations that have been out of sync. She represents the beginning of creative cycles. She brings time for self-reflection and the integration of opposite aspects of yourself. The priestess, I think, signals a time of going within, of experiencing your dark, mysterious, self, balancing that experience with your conscious self. Understanding and honoring both realms can unveil the portal to the inner oasis of your soul. Now we go next, I think, to another major arcana, and this is also full of interesting symbology. Good thing about tarot cards is you can get a lot from the imagery, I think. This is, of course, the Emperor here. Now, above the Emperor is an eclipse. Do you see that up here? There's an eclipse between the sun and moon. The morning star rises above the eclipse to greet. There's the morning star. And it's rising above the sun and the moon to greet a new dawn, symbolizing the blending of spirit and soul with the promise of a new beginning. Now, the white horse that you can see there represents the feminine side, knowing the power of entering the darkness, the void, and finding the light, and where the answer is. The white horse represents the masculine and wisdom with power. Now, there's a little lion cub down the bottom here. See that there? That represents the developing strength and responsibility to your environment and future worlds. The Emperor himself extends a guiding hand to the lion cub, ruling with compassion, wisdom, valor, protection, love, and respect for all those who rely upon him. Well, we can be sure that the lion cub will grow to be a very strong and formidable ally, and it is for you this month. Now, you may make out down here a dragon. Let's just see this thing coming down here. Here's the dragon's eye, and there's its head, and there's part of its body there. That represents the four elements of our earth and spiritual power that has fully manifested in the Emperor. The dragon also represents the Emperor's connection to Mother Earth and respect for the environment. The dragon embodies the unification of the underlying opposites of light and dark, symbolizing the primal energy that upholds the material world, which can turn good or bad on many different levels. Now, he's sitting on an oak sort of throne here, on an oak chair, and that which is part of this oak tree, I think, and that represents four directions, four seasons, four elements, and so on. Now, the oak tree represents divinity and the masculine principle. Now, the eagle that's here, you can see these eagle heads. I see those sticking out there. To me, they represent your connection with the divine. The eagle is the most exalted form of Scorpio, for example. That is its exalted divine state. So this represents your connection with the divine. The eagle soars high, reminding you to look at the bigger picture, to see the expansive horizon, and know that the great universe is always there to help you build greater new worlds. Now look at these little lotus flowers down here. Well, they rise with strength, passion, and purity from the muddy waters of the unconscious. Now, all of these things together, I think, are the inherent tools of the Emperor. Aries, the ram, is his astrological sign, and it looks to me like there is probably a ram's head here emblazoned on his breastplate. Well, the Emperor, I think, is guiding you to find your potential and also your leadership abilities at this time. People are going to see you as a good leader. Now, when you were young, your innocence and vulnerability was influenced by the rules and traditions of family structure and society. When you grew older, a personal code began to develop, and your personal power came into play. As a young adult, you began questioning limiting beliefs and patterns that didn't fit your principles, didn't you? Well, by recognizing and living what is true to your heart and soul self, you gain your personal power. The Emperor's yang energy. You've heard of yin and yang, or yin is the feminine principle, yang the masculine principle. The Emperor's yang energy gives you vision and vitality to start new projects, to express new ideas. He teaches you how to set boundaries and how to develop your gifts and talents. He shows you how to empower others in a positive way, which in turn empowers you. The Emperor here is bringing a new dawn to express your gifts and ideas and to experience life to the fullest. The Emperor is full of adventure, wanting to travel and explore the world. His energy is high and ready to move. Use the wisdom of the Emperor and honor what your heart speaks true. Build new, solid, strong, and secure foundations in your life. Tap into your personal power and explore your potentials, igniting new ideas. The Emperor reminds you to maintain your personal boundaries because you may be tested to give something of yourself away. But the gifts that he brings you at this time are leadership skills, fairness, stability, drive, power, and self-confidence. Well, shall we have a look at the card of love? And let's have a look at you here. Let's have a look. Well, what can we see? The image of the Two of Cups is that of a young couple holding their golden grails of love, sharing and exchanging the energies. They stand in a sea of love, mixing their energies in the starry realms of borderless fluidity, transforming them for the moment into one. Now the dolphins below, they swim in union and unity, celebrating the deep love the couple feel for each other. The open pink lotus that's there, I think, symbolizes the enlightened love that grows from the depths of the soul. And this star, I'm looking at this one here, I'm looking at this star and this moon. This star is that of Venus, the planet of love. And here we see the moon here. And moon governs Cancer, the most receptive of signs. So actually the astrology of this card is Venus in Cancer, the most receptive of planets in the most receptive and beautiful of signs. Well, when the Two of Cups appears here in the center, as it has done for you, with the High Priestess at the top and with the Emperor below it like this, it can symbolize the start of a love affair or the deepening of an existing relationship. It can signal the beginning of a partnership or even a new friendship. If you are already in a relationship, as I say, it represents a deeper level of love, evolving with a stronger spiritual union. In business or enterprise, it symbolizes a partnership of like-minded people. It's very good for people in sales, I think. I'm getting a good idea about selling here. And also people working together in larger organizations as well. It's also particularly good for people who are involved in domestic duties, looking after people, family members, and keeping a good home. It signals a developing friendship also that is supporting and refreshing. The Two of Cups brings celebration of marriage or a union, so you may well hear of this. It also brings reconciliation or truce to conflict. And it reminds you that compromise can bring new realizations and agreement. And it asks you to learn to forgive. The Two of Cups' gift of love is healing to your heart, your body, and your spirit. Now let's have a look. What's at this bottom here? This is the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I did call it the Eight, but that's my eyesight. But now I'm looking at it. Here we go. Again, great imagery, isn't it? Well, in this image here, the goddess of creation wears the crown of the moon's cycles. The sun in the center, which is here, is overlapped by the full moon. Now, this full moon actually is this sort of indigo color that's acting as a sort of a boundary for these stars that are on the other side of it. And this full moon is about illumination, bringing inspired vision through the heart and imagination. Now, these three turtles that you see here, you see them on there? I think they symbolize Mother Earth, the triple goddess, and mind, body, and spirit. The goddess's turtle shell itself, well, her crest, this crest, if you like, is really the turtle shell crest, this green thing that's on her there. That, I think that displays spirals of eternity. You see these spirals here? Spirals of eternity and creation. And she's focusing on three golden eggs, which are in the bottom of that nest that's there. She's working with the energies of divine creativity, aligning the mind, body, and spirit, symbolized by the magical string of stars swirling around her in the nest. Now, the star energy has activated her third eye, giving her deep insight and vision. And the three golden eggs symbolize wishes, dreams, and ideas being nurtured and blessed. Your wishes may well come true. And this rainbow color that's all around her represents the bridge between heaven and earth and the unity of humanity. Now, the Three of Pentacles brings to you the power of creation to a higher level. It signals a time when you are channeling divine inspiration into your life's work. You are experiencing a creative high point in your life where innovative ideas and aha moments emerge. The Three of Pentacles symbolizes the inventive, creative mind of you, expanding energy into tangible form, making things tangible, bringing them to bear. The key to the Three of Pentacles is being committed to your goal by planning, preparing, and focusing on improving your skills. The gift of this three is discovering your true work. Now, when the Three of Pentacles enters, as it has done here, you might find your dream job. It signals a job well done. Success and reward is coming to you, possibly even recognition from other people, and I think you may well enjoy being in the limelight, you know. It's also a time when you are developing your skills and talents. You have learned that planning, preparation, and focus are a must for goals to be realized, haven't you? It indicates research, a sort of an apprenticeship in a way, or pursuing education. That doesn't mean to say necessarily at a college, but even just finding things out on the internet. You could begin working on a community project that will develop your teamwork skills. Now, creative energy and universal support are assisting the progress of a goal that is very close to being completed. The message of this 3 is that it is never too late to go for your dream. And that takes us, I think, to the final card, is it? I think it is. I don't think we've looked at this. Now, this is an 8. Dear, oh dear. How cruel is age. Now, let's have a look here. Let's see what there is here. Now, in the image of the 8, look here. Look at these hands. Do you see those? It's as if there are a pair of cosmic hands weaving a prayer blanket of the cycles of the moon, as you can see here, with the Earth's creatures all moving in unison. The image displays how we are all connected, I think, how every action that each of us takes, no matter how big or small, does actually affect the whole. Now, there are 8 pentacles in the blue circle. Well, they have 8 different moon phases that cycle around the 8-pointed star that's there. Now, the web that illuminates, you see this like a spider web thing again here. It's a bit of a theme, isn't it? We saw a spider web with the priestess. The web that illuminates out from the star connects the 8 pentacles with all the stars in the image, representing cosmically that we are all intertwined. Now, the 8-pointed star represents as above, so below, a balance that is forever in the works of life. You are your own creator, weaving what you want or may not want into your life. Now, the 8 of Pentacles, I think, represents a time here when you are absorbed in a project. There is a need to create a private place to explore and work with no outside distractions. Now, this card signals a time for deep learning, assimilating new insights, and expanding your talents and knowledge. It brings a time of birthing new and innovative expressions from the integrated worlds of spirit and matter at this time. The realization that everything is truly connected and every act has an effect on the larger whole becomes a truth really for you to live by. You realize that every project contains potential for spiritual growth, recognizing what is truthful to the progress of your heart's path. Now, you have learned not to let expectations of others derail your goals or hold you back. Now, this 8 brings a highly creative time. You are in sync with the creative forces of the universe itself. It signals self-confidence, productivity, and progress with a project or endeavor. It indicates learning, expanding, or mastering a skill. And this energy can signal job offers or new lines of work or new tasks. Rewards for your hard and diligent work and effort start to flow to you. The realization that you are the creator of your life becomes truth. You will be following your destiny in its truest form. Well, what a really interesting set of cards for you. Well done, you. That's the way it is this month. That, my dear friend, is your reading for June 2022. I love doing readings for you. Did I mention that before? I really do. I'm always excited to be doing it, and I'd love I love to see you, and if you're here for the first time, welcome, and I hope to see a lot more of you. Subscribers, thank you very much for being with me all this time. I really enjoy your company. Drop me a note in the comments and we can see how we're all doing. But in the meantime, remember this, and remember it always, and it is that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.